to you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and especially most welcome guests, as well as Wanda. Wanda, this is your second time through the Competent Communicator Manual, and your experience definitely showed with this. The purpose of the number 5 speech, as mentioned, is to use body language, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact to enhance the speech. And I thought you did an excellent job of that. The topic of the speech had to do with why the audience should learn English, so presumably this is a group of non-native English speakers. And so it was very relevant to them. For some of us like myself, being a native English speaker, it didn't directly speak to me, but there was something about the universality of what you were talking about. In other words, to use the language of wherever you are. So when we are in Toastmasters, we don't say I would like to, or that said, or ahs, or ums. But if we're in some other venue, then it might be appropriate, especially if Carl's not in the room. I liked how you opened with speaking Spanish, which kind of gave a meta message. And I liked your little use of humor about Wanda and Juanita. That was a nice little play. I didn't see that one coming. But, great way to start, great way to bring people in. Another effective technique you used was to have us answer questions and then use gestures to raise your hand. And again, that got us involved, brought us into the speech, and also was an effective use of that kind of gesture. In fact, there were too many gestures for me to mark down. I mentioned a few of them. And when you went, woohoo, or around the world, and my favorite was your final gesture about how it opens doors all over. And again, that opening conveyed the message both verbally and with the rest of your body. Now, I do have a couple of suggestions regarding body language, and for a speech like this, especially when you use the history of your father, is that I would use the stage as a timeline. So for the audience, the left is the past. So when we're talking about your father coming, tell that here. And then when he's here and he's learning English and he's making progress and making a better life for you, make that here. And then now, in the future, you can do it here. Because what I did see, I saw a little bit of pacing, which is that's like an of body language. Just pace around. So better to have a solid stance. Identify places where you're going to make your point, move to another place, and make your point there. It doesn't have to be a timeline, but I found timelines to be effective. Overall, excellent speech. I particularly like one point in your voice when you said 3 full years. And that wasn't part of the particulars of this, that was vocal variety, and that was a very effective use of that. Excellent speech. I enjoyed it thoroughly and look forward to more. Mr. Toastmaster.